Hey, what's up guys? This is your race pace coach, and today we'll go over why I don't do 25s, okay? So the reason why I don't do 25s for my race pace sets is because my first reason is because the turns, okay? I like it when my swimmers work on turns as they race at practice. So, and then especially when we're in short course yard season, turns are really important, and it's what makes the swimmers faster when they do push off the wall, get a strong push off the wall, and do their underwaters. That's a big factor in their time and performance when it comes to short course yards. Okay, so doing the turns in and out of the walls. At swim meets, when I was doing 25s for race pace sets at practice, the swimmers' turns weren't all that great, and even if their turns were good, like for the faster swimmers, they weren't really doing it as fast as they could when they're tired at the meet, because when they're on, say, like when they're swimming their hundreds or their 200s and they're on like the last two turns, they're tired, and then you can actually see, from my observation, I could actually see that when they're doing the turns, they're turning slower than, versus doing 50s, okay? Doing 50 race pace sets at practice. So that's why I don't do 25s that often at practice. Okay, I do 25s to work on speed, but however, it's mostly 50s at practice so that they can work on their turns. Okay, and then the second reason is turns for underwaters after the turns. Okay, so underwater fly kick on our front and back is really important to me in creating fast swimmers. Okay, the 15-meter underwater dolphin kick. Again, they say that the underwater dolphin kick is the fifth stroke, and I do agree with that. And I always stress to my swimmers that you have to at least be doing 15 meters underwater after your turns. Okay, most of the times they get halfway. Other times they get to the 11 or 10 meter mark. So like for 100s, I always stress to my swimmers that do your best to at least get halfway, and then for 200s, at least get to the 10 meter mark or the 15 meter mark closer to the turn wall, since there's two 50-meter marks. Okay, so at least get past that after your push off with your underwater dolphin kick, and it helps them save energy while they're swimming their 100s and 200s, and allows them to actually finish their last 50 in the 200 or the last 25 in their 100 to get them to the wall, sprinting into the wall. Okay, without using, because I believe that if swimmers don't use their underwater kick, they're just swimming too much and swimming at a slower speed versus doing underwater kick and then swimming to the wall. Okay, and then the third reason is because of race pace endurance. At swim meets for my first 2 years of doing race pace, I was doing 25s for practice. Then I switched over to 50s. So for the first 2 years, results were good with 25s, but I noticed that results were even better with the 50s. Okay, so I did 2 years with 25s, and then these past 3 years I've been doing 50s, and the results are better than the 25s. I've been producing faster swimmers doing 50s versus 25s, and you can, when I'm observing their endurance, their race pace endurance towards the end of their end of their races, you know, I could see that they're lasting longer and pushing harder towards the end of their races, you know, and then comparing times from, you know, my first 2 years versus the current past 3 years, you know, when I was doing 25s and 50s, the results are way better than the first 2 years that I've started race pace training. Okay. And then this is the last thing. The main reason why I switched from doing 25s to 50s is because it's just too much to remember. Too much 25s to remember for the swimmers. So when they're doing a 100 race pace set, the swimmers doing the 25s, they would need to remember at least 25 of their times for each 25 reps that they do, and they would have to write those times down in their notebook, versus when they do 50s, they're only doing 12, so they only need to remember 12 times. So 25 times versus 12 times. And then remember, now you're dealing with age group swimmers where they're 18 and under, especially when they're like 11 and 12. They're not really, I guess, used to it at the beginning, and you know, little kids, they forget. The older kids are not bad, but when it comes to like the younger kids, they forget, or they don't remember what times that they write. So they write, they don't really write their exact times. They just, you know, oh, maybe I did this, maybe I did that. Okay, then they just write their times down. So doing 25s, it's a lot to remember versus doing 50s. And then when we get to the 200 race pace, you know, if you're doing 25s, there's 50 25s that the kids have to remember versus, you know, if they're doing 50s, they're only 25 50s times that they have to remember. So again, 50 versus 25, which one is more realistic for the kids to write in a notebook? Okay, so that's my last reason why. If you have kids, if you're doing a race pace program, and if you have your swimmers writing in a notebook, you know, leave it in the comment description below and then talk about it. And I want to know more about what you guys do and how you have your kids, you know, measure and track their results at practice. Okay, so again, my Race Pace 101 course teaches you step by step on how to implement the race pace program that I do. If you're interested, there's a link in the description below, or you can read my book. It's also in the link in the description below. Okay, and then I also have products that I use, like headsets, you know, and things like the radio, things like that, to help with your race pace program and help encourage and motivate your swimmers as they swim through the water, instead of waiting last minute until they get to the wall. Okay, so thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe button, and then I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.